The abstract of our research question is how Sabahans' mother tongue Sabah dialect influences their English pronunciation. This research studies the impact of the Sabah dialect on the English language proficiency of Sabahans. A survey was conducted with 5 participants to examine the relationship between their Sabah dialect, which is their mother tongue language, and English as a second language. The findings indicate that the Sabah dialect gives us a significant influence on the participants' English pronunciation. The findings indicate that the Sabah dialect gives us a significant influence on the participants' English pronunciation.
Sabah is a multicultural region in Malaysia known for its unique and distinct dialects. Similar to other regions in Malaysia, Sabahans learn English as it is a compulsory subject under the National Education Policy. However, the level of exposure to English varies from person to person due to the differences in their language preferences and cultural backgrounds. Because of this, it is believed that the Sabahan dialect influences the way English words are pronounced. Let's now look at some studies that explore how the Sabahan dialect influences English pronunciation. Ahmad and his colleagues in 2023 reviewed previous research on Malaysian English's phonetic characteristics. They found one key feature, and that is the vowel merger of e and a. For instance, words like set and sat, or man and men, are all pronounced with e instead of distinguishing between the two vowels. Another feature they highlighted based on Bhaskaran's work in 2005 is the glottalization of final consonants. For example, the word cut is pronounced as k. Another study by Bating, Kim, and Ramley in 2018 focused on the phonemes and graphemes in the Kadazandusun language. This research identified 6 monophthongs in the Kadazandusun phonemes, which are e, a, u, e, o, and e. Interestingly, it pointed out the absence of the a vowel in this language, which could explain why this sound is less common in the way some Sabahans pronounce English words. These findings give us a glimpse into how the phonological features of Sabahan dialects shape English pronunciation. Understanding these details helps us appreciate the linguistic diversity in Sabah and how it plays a role in English as a second language.
Method. A qualitative method is used to explore how phonological features of the Sabahan dialect influences English pronunciation. 5 students from University Kebangsaan Malaysia (UKM) who are native Sabahan speakers participated in the study. 3 of them have a strong background in English, thus coursework being conducted predominantly in English, while the other 2 are more proficient in Malay, which is why studies are primarily conducted in Malay language. Methods of data collections. We collect audio recordings which include phonemes and phonological features that are commonly influenced by the Sabahan dialect, consonant and vowel sounds, consonant clusters and minimal pairs. The method of data analysis. A comparative analysis was conducted to identify trends and differences in the pronunciation of English words among the participants. This is how the participants pronounce the given words. For vowels, 4 out of 5 participants pronounce bat and bat in the same way. For consonants, the T sound for words ending with T are weakened. This is called the final consonant elision. 2 out of 5 participants pronounce crisp as crisps. This is called as consonant clusters. The same 2 participants also pronounce thin as thin. This is called as consonant substitution. For minimal pair, all participants have no problem differentiating the minimal pairs. This is the result of our research from 5 Sabahan participants on pronouncing a few English words. This table shows how the pronunciation differs from Sabahans and the native English speakers. This is the given words. Vowels. Short vowels. Bit, bat, bat, but, boat, put. Long vowels. Beat, bait, boat, boot. Diphthongs. Boy, buy, cow, day. Consonants. Plosive. Pin, bin, tin, din, kin, gin. Fricatives. Fan, ban, thin, dan, sip, zip. Shin, genre. Affricatives. Chip, jeep. Glottal sounds. Hat, hot. Clusters. Play, train, spring, crisp. Minimal pairs. Vowels. Beat, beat. Cat, cut. Full, fool. Consonants. Pat, bat. Feel, beal. Ship, sheep. This study emphasizes the influence of their mother tongue, which is Sabah dialects, influence on the English language.
Firstly, for vowel pronunciations, participants 1 and 2 show notable variations. Participant 1 pronounces bet as bat, with the actual word bat stressed to indicate difference. Besides that, they use a weak form of but and weakened t sound, resulting in final consonant addition. These instances may suggest influence from regional or communal speech patterns, as participant 1 is part of the Dusun ethnic group but speaks English on a daily basis. On the other hand, participant 2 displays vowel shifts, with bat pronounced as but and boot is pronounced with a short vowel. They also pronounce boat as bought, indicating vowel merger or simplification. This may be caused by influences from regional dialect or mother tongue, as participant 2 primarily speaks Malay and is part of the Bugis ethnic group. Participants 3, 4, and 5 pronounce bet and bat the same way. This may also be due to these 3 participants being in the same Dusun community as participant 1. For consonants, the pronunciation differences are not as noticeable, though deviation from the intended pronunciation is more pronounced. Participants 1, 3, and 5 pronounce gin as gin instead of gin, which may indicate either influence from the mother tongue and regional dialect or unfamiliarity with the word, as gin is not a common term in Malaysia. All 3 participants pronounce genre with the correct consonants, showing familiarity with the word. Participants 2 and 4 were asked to pronounce the word thin, which they pronounced with the voice the instead of the voiceless th. This may be due to both participants 2 and 4 preferring to use Malay as their primary language, and superficial knowledge of how English is spoken may lead them to pronounce anything with th with the. They were also asked to pronounce crisp, which they pronounced crisps instead of crisp, with the s and sounds switching positions. This may also be influenced by accent due to the language they use in daily life. For minimal pairs, all participants have shown competence in distinguishing minimal pairs with no significant issues. This suggests a general ability to recognize and produce phonemic contrasts accurately despite variations in vowel and consonant pronunciation. These findings have important implications for language learners, educators, and researchers. Language learners should be aware of how English can vary significantly depending on the region. Therefore, it is important to focus on intelligibility and sharpening language comprehension rather than sticking to only one specific accent or dialect. Educators should emphasize teaching strategies that address these variations, such as using diverse listening materials and tailoring pronunciation instruction to individual needs. Researchers can build on these observations to explore the sociolinguistic and phonological factors influencing pronunciation differences, as well as their impact on language learning and assessment. However, it is also important to acknowledge the limitations of this research, as it only focuses on a very small group of people whose way of speech does not accurately represent the way of speaking of the entire state of Sabah as a whole. Nevertheless, it is hoped that this research can be expanded to other people groups of the region.
As a conclusion, the Sabahan dialect does influence the English pronunciation. The Sabahan dialect does alter how they pronounce words, even if they speak the same language. There are notable phonetic changes in the English pronunciation of the Sabahan dialect. It is found that, as reported, Sabahan people have no problem differentiating the minimal pairs. Although the mother tongue of the Sabahans can influence their pronunciation when they speak English as a second language, those who have a strong background in English can pronounce English words as English speakers.